Support the Amigos podcast on Patreon or PayPal and receive cool perks and rad swag. Visit our page at everythingamiga.com/support. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we are celebrating the best of 2020. I don't have to tell you or anybody listening that 2020 has not been the most fantastic year of all time. But we are not here to talk about all the unpleasantness. We are here to celebrate this glorious podcast in its 5th year of existence and the best games as chosen by the fine listeners of this podcast.
5 years, Bo. That's incredible, isn't it?
It is incredible.
Can't believe it.
It is incredible. But before we get in to the awards part of the ceremony, Aaron, there's been a lot going on in the wider Amigos community and the wider Amiga world in general. So we would be remiss if we didn't talk about that stuff. So why don't we scoot on over to our YouTube channel and just kind of catch everybody up on what's been going on the past couple weeks, because last week for the Christmas show, we didn't go over the YouTube channel updates.
Correctamundo, Boaster. So let's start off with, of course, if you missed it last week, we did have the coming together of all of our shows, all of our buddy shows here that are on the network. I want to build this one more time and plug it because this is so much fun. We got ourselves Jack Flack over here. We got the Pixel Gaiden fellas, and we got the Brent was even here, so you can't have it all. But that was a good time, Boatster. A lot of fun. If you missed out on that, come and catch it. I really had a good time doing that. A lot of fun. Let's talk about what we did on ARG last week, Bo.
Okay.
So last week was the high score challenge, another one of Brent's wacky pie pieces, Bo. And this time out, the Brent wanted us to pick 2 games that we could do high score challenges with. And that's what we did. We picked, I picked Gyrus on the Atari 2600, and the Brent picked Popeye for the arcade, which is, you'll recall, Bo, I believe one of us picked Popeye on one of our early shows for the NES.
That was, I think that was episode 2 of ARG Presents. I believe that you chose Popeye for our NES episode.
Was that me that did that? That sounds like me, because I'm a big Popeye fan. Well, I'll tell you something. I learned about myself, Bo. I'm a big Popeye fan, but I'm not very good at Popeye, because I went out there and sucked up the joint.
You know, it's funny. I went back after listening to your show, and I went back to I played both the NES version and the Sailor Man version, the stunning port on the Coco, and I could rock those games like nobody's business. I could loop that sucker, no problem. First thing, Popeye for the arcade is a different beast altogether. Yeah. It's a hard game.
I don't remember Brutus being that aggressive.
Yeah,
he's the one you like stink on a skunk, man.
Yeah.
So but we had a good time. We had a lot of people turn in scores. We appreciate that, by the way, because you know how it is, Bo. Audience participation get you hosed every time. So there you go. We appreciate that, fellas. I don't want to miss out on this before we move along. You know, our good buddy, the Frodo NL, he's been doing some streams. I catch these things every chance I get because they're always entertaining. He's played a bunch of wacky crap, Boat. And this time around, it looked like he was still going to get some puzzle action going on his mystery. Now, I didn't get to see this one. This one snuck in on me. In fact, I'm just seeing the listing here for the first time, so I'm going to definitely check that out. Have you caught any of Frodo's streams?
Yeah, I tune in. You know, Frodo, he is the great thing that's awesome about him is you can check in for a couple minutes and then you can come back 2.5 hours later and he's still at it. He is the master of longevity on the streams, and he plays some games. I really like one of the games he played called Locomotion. You've got it up on the screen right now.
Have we looked at this before?
I think that we have, and this is one of these games that I'm horrible at because I can't think logically, but Frodo's a pretty good hand, and I enjoyed watching him playing it and his lively commentary.
Yeah. Frodo's, and he always has an interesting bunch of people. There are a lot of people that I don't usually see, so it's kind of an interesting blend of folks. So yeah, check out Frodo stuff. It's always good. Let's go over here now. Here's one Boats that came out of the blue. Unless you watched our Thanksgiving marathon, you wouldn't have seen this, but myself and the Brent got a wild hair Boat. And look at that goof. My God. 6 shades of stupid, the Brent. But anyway, we took over the reins for the Coco show for a week. And just for fun, We did a little game that's called Mega Bug. Mega
Mm,
Bug, Boat. Are you familiar with this one?
I am. I'm intimately familiar with Megabug.
What's your opinion on Mega Bug, if I may ask?
It sucks.
Well, there you go. It
Yeah.
shut me up.
One of the worst Pac-Man like games I've ever played. The best part about it is the dance that the bugs do. The
Yeah.
worst part about it is the game.
I agree. Well, I mean, it's a technical achievement. I do think I do like that part of it. But yeah, the magnifying glass. I never knew about Dung Beetle or the Apple connection. I didn't know any of that stuff until I did
Yeah,
this show.
the story is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I like the story or the little dance. I like the story more than I did the game. So, but yeah, we had a good time on the Coco show, and we'll probably, me and you and Brent have all talked. We'll probably crank. Every once in a while, we'll just fire one of these suckers out.
There will be more Coco shows in the future.
Yeah,
for sure.
and Atari and everything else. We're gonna keep the ball rolling on some of these. Now here's one, Boat. Holy smokes! I caught this bad boy. This right here, Rob Flack O'Hara. This guy. This is the stream he did the other night where he plays Break Street on the C64. You know, I'd always heard Break Street wasn't that good, but I was watching this and it looked great.
Mm-hmm.
And intermixed with the Break Street gameplay, Black has old video footage of himself and his buddies breakdancing.
I love it.
Have you seen this, Boat?
I've seen, I think Rob has posted pictures of this from time to time on Facebook, but I've never seen the actual video in action.
Let me tell
and
you
man,
something.
he's great.
Flack's
a pretty accomplished breaker, as they say.
Him and his buddy go to work here on this piece of cardboard. And I mean, I cackled when I was watching this footage. And of course, having grown up during the breakdance era, it was all so stupid. Unless you were a proper breakdancer. Otherwise, you were just sort of a dingbat that was wallowing around on a piece of cardboard. You know what I mean? And we all gave it a shot. But thank God none of us videotaped it. But Flack's taking a bullet for us. Because that's what this... And Flack's actually not bad. Him and his buddy are bad. I don't know what you call that move, Boat. I don't want to know.
Looks like he's getting ready to do the old airplane spin to me.
I mentioned this on the Discord. This is a must watch if you want to laugh at Jack Flack, and who doesn't? It was great. I enjoyed the heck out of that, Boat. Real funny stuff. Lastly, bam! Look who's back. I haven't seen this one either. He always does these when I'm not around. It looks like Frodo's back with some Amstrad action, Boat, which we don't get
he
to
did
see
this.
that much.
He recorded this last night, New Year's Eve.
Wow.
He was up until 7 a.m. streaming. That's the kind of dedication that Frodo has with his crew.
And
I've not had a chance to watch this either.
This looks like Lotus 1, Boat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I really want to watch it because I've been getting more into the Amstrad. You know, Neil is a big Amstrad guy, and that's a system that we still really haven't touched on much. So I'll be checking this out for some tips on what to play.
Very good, very good. Frodo, and I have to say, Frodo and Flack are awesome. I love their stuff. I love their stuff.
Now, Aaron, you've missed one video on here. You missed our Insert Disc 2 archive. That's just been that's been redone. I don't know why it's I don't know why it's not showing up on your screen.
I don't even see it up here, Bo.
But it has been released. This is the Insert Disc 2 from November 25th, 2016. And the title of this little capture is "Look Gruff and Disgusting for the Holidays."
That's the title.
What's interesting about this video, Aaron, is that you and I, of course, this is 4 years ago. There you go. You pulled it up now.
That's classic us with the booze sitting in front of us.
Yeah.
It looks like we've broken into someone's house and we're just raided their liquor cabinet. Here comes the booze glasses.
Yeah. Now the first question I have, Aaron, is I have not seen this shirt in a while. What happened to this shirt?
A certain someone who I won't mention put a bunch of bleach on that shirt, Bo. And it wasn't me. Thank you. I see. Now I believe, Bo, we're drinking. Now is that the what is that?
That's some single malt scotch.
Scotch.
Is what that is.
Yeah. Is this the soil based stuff we were drinking for a while?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's the Ili.
Yeah.
It's funny because at this time I appear to weigh between 5 and 600 pounds, and you look quite svelte. So, we're both up and down like a yo-yo, man.
That's from 2016.
Yeah.
You know, these old Insert Disc 2 are creepy to watch, some of these things. And I listen, and you're right. I'm complaining on every single one. Every
Oh man, life's beating me down.
It's over, man. I'm getting killed out here. But what do you think? I'm sporting the beard in this one. What do you think?
The beard wasn't a bad look. You might consider bringing it back for 2021.
It looks
man.
perfect for drinking because it looks
Yeah,
like
it
I'm on
does.
like a 20-day binge. Well, I'm sure going to look that up, Boat. Thank you. So yeah, Insert Disc 2. Boat, you want to explain what's going on with these Insert Disc 2s?
Yeah, so I found a bunch of these in the YouTube archives. We have like 8 zillion videos that we've put up over the past 5 years. And these were originally supposed to go out to our Patreons. They are Patreon exclusives. But I figure that the window of exclusivity has passed. And it's time to unleash these upon the general populace. So look for them about once a week or once every 2 weeks, mostly from 2016 and 2017, these videos.
Hey, Boat. Brucey's ragging on your old haircut, dude.
Hey, not everybody.
What do you
can
call
rock
that? The reverse horse?
mohawk.
Is that the horseshoe or what was that?
The inverse mohawk.
Yeah. Somewhere Road Warrior Hawk is smiling down upon you. So that's it, Boat. That's all the videos we got.
That's for the videos this week, Aaron. Let's call upon the gamble train, shall we?
I think we shall.
Amiga News.
Gamble train.
All right, Aaron. We're going to kick things off this week. We've got 2 videos from our buddy Doug over at 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast. This first one is his instructions on how to set up an FTP server for your Amiga. And I guess this is something that you do if you don't have a real easy way with physical media like a compact flash reader or an SD card reader or something like that. If you just want to go straight over the internet, it's probably the easiest way once you get it up and running. Did you ever FTP anything over to the old Amiga, Aaron?
Hell no. Kidding me. What the heck? No, I've never done that. I mean, I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but listen, no, I'm not doing that.
It's funny because with the Atari 1200 XL with the 8-bit, I've got this new FujiNet, and there's a thing you can set up called a TNFS server, and I'm probably getting those letters mixed up. And Eric Nelson's like, it's the easiest thing in the world. Just do this, this, and this. Why did this, and this, and I still can't get it to work. Yeah. So what I do is I take the old SD card out of the FujiNet, I put it in my computer, I put some games on it, and then I put it back in the FujiNet. It works great.
That's all right. So. That's what you're using is the loser net.
That's right.
Basically, stick it in there yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, Doug has the jack. He's got the chops for this kind of action. Some of us got the chops and some of us don't got the chops, but
yeah,
we don't got them. By the way.
No. And here's our next story, Aaron. Black Dawn Rebirth, quite possibly the worst gaming experience of my life, is getting a deluxe edition. This is an Amiga dungeon crawler. 3 of my least favorite words in the English language. And there is this game is universally lauded. People were over the moon for this game. A new dungeon crawler. And there is a new deluxe edition that is coming out. I guess the original edition has been released for free. This deluxe edition is only £5, so it's quite a bargain. It gives you I think there's a dungeon editor in here.
Yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah, you remember this?
Oh, yeah. Now it's all coming back to me because these little tiles are ingrained in my brain. They're burnt in there, man, like screen burn.
For some reason, people just really like this game, and
hate these type of games.
Full disclosure: dungeon crawlers, first-person dungeon crawlers, my least favorite genre by a country mile.
Don't take Boat's burial personally. There's not one of these that can be made that he would enjoy.
Not a one. But anyway, that's available for you. It's timeslip1974.itch.io. You can find this. And like I said, for £5, if you like this game at all, buy the deluxe version just to support the developer.
The box is the bomb. Look at that.
The box does look cool. I will give it props for the box.
Listen, the box is a big part of it. Well, this game looked good. Listen, we suck at these too. That also helps. So £5, I give this the big thumbs up, Bo. That's a good cheap price for something.
Now, here's a little bit of somber news, Aaron. I told you we are going to keep things positive, but
Here we go
unfortunately,
already.
a new virus has been discovered for the Amiga. This is called the Game Over virus. And Aaron, this is a boot block virus. What it does is it writes itself into original boot blocks. Now, boot blocks are one of those things that people talk about in the Amiga community all the time, and I'm still not exactly sure what they are. But I'm guessing that you don't want a virus to invade your boot block.
Oh
That's
man.
just going out on a limb.
Oh, this is
So
this is a brand new virus, or is this an old
this
one
is a
they just
brand
like?
it's a brand new virus.
Now
Nobody knows.
what dipstick sitting around in 2020 cranking out Amiga viruses? You've got to be a real jerk to be doing that.
I agree. I agree. There are some real awful people in the world. And so
Get a
if
job,
you are
yo.
if you are, everybody should remain informed about this sort of thing, especially if you are using your Amiga online, doing any kind of downloading of files and things like that. So be on the lookout. Check the link in the show notes. This is vht-dk.dk is where this is. The virus help team has got some more information about this. Stay safe out there. Use protection.
The virus help team needs a cooler name, by the way.
Yeah,
The virus help team.
I
What the
agree.
hell is that? How about the virus protection squad or something like that? Put
Mm,
squad in there,
yeah.
something.
What's the
Virus help
mod
team.
squad?
This sounds like something like a daycare. This is the juice cleanup help team. Little Jimmy spilled it.
Yeah,
Carry
yeah.
on, boat.
All right, next up is there's a new game out there, and it's a new game. It's an old game. There is it's almost like a transcode of Space Invaders. Now, it's
Ooh.
not a transcode. Coco people, get off it. I know it's not a
Yeah,
transcode.
Curtis was
Yeah,
readying the dogs.
yeah, but this thing is a pretty much, as far as I can tell, and I'm no Space Invaders aficionado, but I've seen a good many
I love
Space Invaders games played in my life.
Yeah.
And this looks pretty much just like the arcade machine. So, if you're looking for possibly the most accurate port of Space Invaders, the original black and white Space Invaders, this looks like it to me.
Just hitting a transcode boat. Come on.
Yeah,
Don't play.
it might be. It might be.
It looks
So,
good. It's funny. I own this actual machine, so I am fairly intimate with.
cool.
And yeah, looks pretty good. My kid uses it as a desk now. Yeah,
Yes.
very good.
And this is not a news story, but it's a site that I came across, and I wish I could remember who pointed me at this because I can't. But this is called the Famous Amiga Uses homepage, and all this is, and you can see this is a site that looks like it's straight out of the 90s. It is actually designed for the iBrowse Amiga web browser, so that's why
There
it
it
looks
is.
like this.
Yeah, 'cause
Um,
it was updated this month.
yeah, but it's still updated, and it's actually just a list of places where Amigas are still in use. And so, I'm sure that it's also from the past. So, you can see once you click into the links, you can see all the different places where Amigas have or have been used in the past. Kind of neat. It's a good way to score some points when you're going up against your buddies that all have PCs and you want to, really stick it to them. You can say, "Did you know that the Fox Studios use Amigas exclusively to control their backlot inventory?" You
Look at
can
that
just make
boat.
crap up because nobody cares.
Young
It's an
Indiana
awesome
Jones
site.
Chronicles. Emmy
Yeah,
Award. I love that show.
you do.
Back in the day.
You
I
do.
watched that when it aired in person. It was gold, brother. Gold.
Frodo NL says Pixels shared that on Discord. Thank you, Pixels at Dawn, for
Pixels
sharing
knows
that
the
site.
score, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
wacky. That's wacky. I'm the
I
guy
like
that's
that
how
a
he
lot.
found that. That's who knows, but wacky. I like
Now,
it.
Aaron, we've saved the best for last because you've got something to say
Oh
about
God!
this
Now
next
see, you put me
video.
on the spot here.
So I'll set the stage and I'll let you take over. So Doug has been busy with his Unamiga. The Unamiga is, of course, the low-cost FPGA Amiga solution that fits in an Amiga 500, so you can still use the keyboard. There is a hat that has been released for this that allows you to load different cores like the NES, the MSX, etc. And so, Doug, this video is about how to upgrade your Unamiga for those Commodore 64 and NES cores. So, Aaron, I know that you have an Unamiga and you have attempted this upgrade yourself. Please give us your
Well, I
thoughts.
did the upgrade. I will say, Doug actually reached out to me a while before this even shipped. He's like, "Listen, we should get together and do this." But being the lethargic bum that I am, we just never got around to it.
You totally Shane Armon rode him
No,
for sure.
well, hey, listen. Doug knows. We're solid. We're tight. We're solid. But it's what you gotta do. It was a busy time of the year. Anyway, so I followed Doug's guide here, and which is a good guide. There are some points that you'll have to kind of figure out yourself, but for the most part, everything went the way it should. But and listen, I'm not gonna bury the Unamiga or Edu or any of these guys, but I was underwhelmed by the addition of the hat to my Unamiga, such to the extent that I have taken the Unamiga and disassembled it and taken it out of my rotation. I just got furious and just gave up. And the reason
it's going to that great trash heap in the sky.
It's not going to. No, are you kidding me? I got too much wad invested in that, so I'm going to do something with it. But what happened was, so when you get this hat, and I can't say it's going to be like this on any of the other Amigas, but we've got the one where you have to put the hat on it, the little hat, which basically it's a fancy way of putting. You have to put a board, like a daughter board, on a big wad, a couple big rows of pins, and this is supposed to give us ZX Next emulation, or I'm sorry, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Spectrum Next.
Not emulation, but you know what I mean.
Simulation.
FPGA. It's supposed to give us NES, MSX, and C64. I think that's all of them. And so I installed this thing, and I instantly had problems. It keeps locking up on when I'm trying to browse ROM folders. The Amiga section just straight up doesn't come up anymore. The NES version won't work on the old monitor that the Unamiga did. I have to get a new monitor out to accept the signal coming out of it.
I don't think that's that big. Two monitors with one system. I mean, surely everyone has two monitors to hook up to their single console.
The NES also. I should mention all the menus of this are in Spanish. Everything it's all in Spanish.
Just broaden your horizons.
It reminded me of home.
This is edutainment at its finest.
It reminded me of Homer putting together the grill. La grill? What the hell is that? That's the way I felt. I mean, you could get through most of that stuff, but then I found out that you have to use a separate SD card for the next FPGA. You have to use a separate card for the MSX, and plus you have to have a card that goes into the hat. Plus, you have to have one that goes into the Unamiga. You're talking a rotation of like 4 SD cards in this thing. So this isn't like I watch people with the Mister or the Mist. They just kind of wheel over with the keyboard.
They're flying through cores like it's going out of style.
That's right. Yeah. So that didn't work. Like I said, it kept locking up on me when I was putting it together. The construction book that came with it. This is sort of off the cuff, but if I can show it here. I mean, these are the instructions. This is a complicated piece of kit, and this is what I had to get me going. That ain't gonna feed the bulldog, my friends. Yeah. This right here, it's like basically it's Spanish for good luck, sucker. I mean, that wasn't happening. So ignore that. If it wasn't for Doug, I'd have been el-boned grande just from getting out of the starting gate. I should mention that Slow Norris also sent me that you also have to have the USB blaster not included. With this
thing that to me that needs to be something he needs to pack in there, even if he has to raise the price. Because I mean, who do you know that has an Unamiga that hasn't had to use the USB blaster?
Yeah, and like I said, even Doug didn't install the cores for the MSX and the ZX Next. I mean, I don't blame him, because then you have to go through and have set up these different cards and stuff. The reason I wanted to use the Unamiga for all this stuff was it wasn't a hassle. That's the whole point. So when it became a hassle, and I should also mention that inexplicably my Amiga 500 keyboard stopped working on this thing. So then I had to go drag out a PS2 or a PS2 keyboard and mouse because there's no USB. You can see where I'm going here. I just hit the wall, Boat. And you know me, it takes a lot to drive me into the wall. And like I said, I'm not saying this is not a good. I love the Unamiga as an Amiga, and I'm sure it handles all this other stuff better. See those pins right there? Yeah. That was another problem. The solder had been excessively put on when they soldered the pins on the Unamiga, and so excess solder had ran up those pins, and it made it difficult to even plug this thing in. And that happens a lot to people when they're installing those pins. They use too much solder, and the solder comes up, and then when the thing you're hooking into the pins doesn't work. So anyway, I wasn't gonna go into this. Long story short, I'm stepping out. I'm stepping out. I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna try to reflash this thing so I can get my Amiga back. But I've actually stuck the old faithful back over here, the old actual 1200. I'm gonna be using that for a while. And just saying, oh, I should also mention that the C64, you have to load everything in real time. So
No fast load option.
There's no fast load. So hilariously, the FPGA C64 is 5 or 6 times slower than my actual C64 that's sitting right beside it. So yeah, I just hit the wall on it, man. I'm not burying it. I'm not bad mouthing it. Edu is a genius. Anyone that bought him, good on you. I hope you have better luck. And maybe someone can say, hey, Dowdy, you idiot. Here's all the things you did wrong, sucker. And then I'll come back on here and I will post I will come back and I'll apologize. But I'm just telling you, my first encounter, I wasn't that impressed, Boat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to end our news segment. And so we're gonna roll on out of that, and we're gonna roll right in to 2021. Aaron, will you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
And will you call up on the internet our Patreon page? Patreon.com/Amigos podcast. You can do it right from the news screen. Go on back to the news scene there.
I will do that. 1 second. Keep the people busy for.
So it is a new year. It's a new you. And what that means is that there are new Patreon magnets for all of our supporters. You've got a really strange way of using the internet.
You got that right, buddy. Don't judge me, Boat.
So this is our new magnets. You can see our new magnets for 2021, the Amigos supporter magnet, which you get for $4 per month if you support us for at least 4 months during the course of the year. Features our old buddy WizKid. WizKid, one of the
game.
Yeah, one of the more goofy games and enjoyable games. I like a good game of WizKid now and again for the Amiga. He's conducting the Amigos Orchestra, the Patreon band, if you will. That is the Amigos supporter magnet, and the game selection committee magnet is actually larger than it appears in this. And it's all about one of your favorite games, Wings, Aaron. This is a Wings-based magnet, AGSC 2021. Underneath, there's a little thing of text that says, "For those who served."
I love it.
So, for our illustrious community of people who help select the games that we play every week, a game selection committee magnet worthy of the name. So those are available. They will be given out at Christmas time in 2021. So it's never too late or too early to support Amigos on Patreon. Patreon.com/Amigos podcast. All right. And from here, Aaron, we're just going to jump right on into the show proper. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of run through a couple different things. We're going to start with some predictions, people's predictions for next year, Aaron. Okay. Now it's to my undying shame that I didn't attach a field for people to put their name next to their prediction. So I don't know who are doing these predictions, but these were the predictions that were submitted to us. So the first one is worst streaming performance. Oh. That's what we can look for. Come on. Things are going to get better. Suddenly it's going to turn it around. Maybe. The Spectrum Next will dominate the Our Sinclair channel on Discord. Probably so.
Yeah.
Recognizing the juggernaut that is the Amigos Retro Gaming Network, RMC joins the fold to begin the international expansion. Yeah, he is sort of small potatoes. He'd love to join up with a major league outfit like us.
Yeah.
Still no Amiga Mini, as no one can agree on anything. I think that's probably 2020 is not going to be the year for the Amiga Mini.
I disagree.
Oh.
Ironically.
Oh.
It depends on your perspective of what an Amiga Mini is. I mean, is it a small functional Amiga? Right? If it is, then we've already had one, right? Technically, the standalone Vampire is sort of like a mini Amiga, and so will be the standalone, ironically, the standalone Unamiga will sort of be like an Amiga Mini, right? I mean, don't you think? It sort of will. It takes an SD card, it hooks up.
It depends on how you look at it, like you said. What I'm saying is that we're not going to be able to walk over to the GameStop or the Walmart and see on the shelf a mini Amiga the same way that you see a mini C64.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to see a commercially released product like
I don't think we'll ever see that. But I mean, the people in the UK have a shot at it, but not with these two products. I will, yes. I will say if that's the watermark you're going to go for, then I agree. There hasn't been one, and there probably won't be one here.
The next prediction is that the Amigos will have a retro computer game made about them. If they made a computer game about us, Aaron, what would it be?
I would like to think it was some sort of fighting game. You could put Brent in there and Flack, the Pixel Gaming guys. Some of the regulars could be in there, and maybe Mark. You and Mark could finally face off in a physical confrontation about AGA. I like that idea. So yeah. But I mean, what do you think?
I think one of those clicker games, the just most useless wastes of time that have ever been created. Just the idle games, with the Amigos idle game. There's no word that better describes me than idle. So
depends on which version of idle you're talking about.
Well, both actually. Let's see. Here's the next prediction. We are finally allowed outside, but everyone just stays in and plays Amiga anyway.
Yeah. I will say the pandemic's been worse for some of us than it has for others. Some of us just like to sit on our heinies and play games and watch videos and stuff that hadn't been that bad.
All right. Now, Aaron, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to some more of these predictions
all right.
In a couple minutes, but we're going to jump right into our best of videos. We're going to kick things off with the first category. Now, we had nearly 40 people voted on these games. Okay. So this was we had 39 votes come in for each of these categories. The first one is best adventure / RPG. And we have some special guest presenters here. So we'll let them present the nominees and the winner. Take it away.
Hi, this is Chris Foles. I just want to thank the Amigos for the honour of allowing me to present the award for Best Adventure and RPG. The nominations are Ultima 5, Laws of Chaos, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And the winner is La La Land. What? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Here you go, Boat. Indiana Jones.
Now, I think that there's probably going to be some categories where we had differing views on.
Yeah.
But I have a sneaking suspicion that you and I are united with the listeners in this particular pick that Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade was the best adventure strategy game of the year. Do you agree or not, Aaron?
It's funny because this is not the game that I would go back and play because, I'm not an adventure game guy. I would probably have picked Lords of Chaos, but because, Roy, that's less of an adventure game, really, isn't it? It's more of a strategy game.
Right.
But just as a third party who just looking in, this is clear. I thought this one pretty much ran away with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was a game that was very clever. It was very beautiful. They put a lot of time in it. There's a lot of detail work that was done on this. I mean, just a top shelf game overall. I mean, you can't say anything bad about it. It captured the feel of the movies. It went almost parallel with the third film. Wouldn't you say, Bode?
Yeah, and this game is. I mean, it manages to balance the same. It strikes the same balance that the movies do between adventure and humor and danger and exciting history. All the different locales of this really made it fun. Like I said, when we talked about the only thing that really brought this game down were the sequences where you were negotiating tunnels or the crypt under the library, or when you're in the big Nazi mansion. Those sections of the game were sort of slow, but as far as colorful, funny adventure games go, this kind of set the standard until the Monkey Island games came along.
I think you're dead on there, but good game, and especially if you're an Indiana Jones fan, I can imagine someone picking this up and sitting down and playing it. And really, it gives you the feeling that you're, playing as your hero in the film. So that's not easy to pull off.
No,
but of course, LucasArts, they knew what they were doing. Faux show.
Yeah. All right. Our next category is Best Arcade Port. Now, I inadvertently assigned this video to 2 people, so we have double presenters in this video. So get ready for that.
Good one, Boat.
Hello and welcome to Northern Ireland. I am Paul Boss Van Harrington, and here are the nominees for Best Arcade Port.
Hi guys, this is Barkbit, and I'm here to tell you about vacationing in Sweden and also the best arcade ports of 2020. Now, the nominees are
Bubble Bobble,
Pac-Mania,
Rygar AGA,
here's a dog for dramatic effect. The winner is Bubble Bobble. And as for vacationing in Sweden, you better come in the summer. Bye now.
That was gold. That was gold, Boat. That was a gold boat. I love that.
So
what do you think, Bubble Bobble? You love this game.
Well, I don't love this game, but I like this game a lot more after we played it and we reviewed it on the show than I did before. I've always not understood the mechanics of Bubble Bobble and how the score happens. And to me, even though there are, I guess, sort of, very specific mathematical formulations into how the game, drops items that you really need to get the big points, understanding that helped me enjoy it more. I think that this is far and away the most fun of the arcade ports, at least, the 3 nominees. Rygar, I'm just not a big fan of Rygar. I understand that it's a very impressive technical achievement to bring it out on the Amiga. Pac-Mania is nice, but it's definitely not, one of the top Pac-Man games out there. Bubble Bobble is sort of, it should be there because it's, was the start of sort of the Rainbow Islands, Parasol Stars trilogy that is so well looked at. And, I think it still holds up, and the quality of the port itself, is also really solid. We were graced by an even more accurate version of this game. I think it's called Tiny Bubble Bobble a couple months ago. But the original port was still really solid. What do you think, Aaron?
I didn't vote for this. I'm not a fan. I mean, it's a great port. Don't get me wrong. I looked over the list, and I believe I picked Rygar on the, and I'm like you. Rygar is not a game that I particularly like. It's so hard. But I remember when we did that, we looked at Rygar, the attention to the detail and the hidden stuff and the extra stuff when it was really, there was a lot. And there's a lot more to Rygar than there is to Bubble Bobble.
Sure.
And plus they actually used AGA and got some action out of it. I mean, a lot of stuff that I think they did a good job on. This was another tough one. It's a lot like the first one. None of these games, I mean, if you look at what we had on offer this year, aside from the ones we've mentioned, and Pac-Mania, we also had Super Hang-On, which also is a pretty good game, but none of these are games that I was real passionate about in the arcade. So, but I mean, I don't think this is a bad choice at all. I think it's a pretty good choice.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, before we move on to our next category, we had several people submit, we put out the call to submit your favorite Amigos moment of 2020. And so we had 4 different moments, I guess 5, we're going to end the show with the 5th of your favorite Amigos moment of 2020. This first clip is going to be played right now.
We haven't looked at any of these, have we, Bo? We have no idea what these are. So here we go. The first clip. Here we go.
Oh, and I
go ahead, Bo. Thank him.
I'm sorry. I do want to thank Duncan Styles for collecting these and putting them all together.
There you go.
Sorry, had to get the word out.
I know, man. That's all right.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sinclair. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we're going to be talking about Cabal.
Cabal. All right, man.
Yeah. Now, when I first heard about this game,
Yeah.
I thought it was...
I'm scared to hear where this is going.
I thought it was about... remember Huckleberry Hound?
I do.
Now, I think that he was he used to be like a superhero that would swing like with his guitar.
No. Yeah, it's a whole different guy. You're talking about El Cabal?
Yeah.
That's what you thought the game was about? No. No. No.
Was that not Huckleberry Hound?
No,
either?
that wasn't Huckleberry Hound. That guy was a horse, I believe. Huckleberry Hound's a hound.
You know, now that you say that, I do recall that guy being a horse. Yeah.
You really are quite dumb, aren't you? It's hard to believe you're teaching people. You're talking about molding young minds. Don't teach them about cartoons. You'll be fine.
What was El Kabong's alter ego?
I can't. Oh gosh, what was it? It wasn't Quick Draw McGraw, was it? Was that him?
I think that was a dog, also.
No.
How can you have a quick drawing animal with no opposable fingers? You can't draw with a hoof.
Dude, the animals talk and dance. So you're hung up on the thumbs? They speak. They walk upright. They wear clothes. He's a horse that wears clothes. He plays guitar. How does he do that with no fingers?
These are all good points.
Really didn't think this through, did you? Huckleberry Hound wears a hat. He's from the South. Does that make any sense? Come on. And none of this has a darn thing to do with Cabal. That was an interesting name choice with Cabal.
Does Cabal mean anything as far as you know?
Isn't it like a kind of an evil agreement between two parties? Like they put together like a cabal?
That sounds right.
I could be full of crap on that.
But that has nothing to do with this game.
Quick Draw McGraw. Thank you, Doug. Doug here for the save. No kabong is when he hits people with a guitar. Like the Honky Tonk Man or Jeff Jarrett. Same
Okay.
thing, yeah. Oh, shit. You're an idiot, Boat. You're an idiot.
It's funny, I'd forgotten about that.
Is it vain to laugh at your own antics? That's so stupid. Oh God.
Well, that's a perfect way to go into our next category.
What, biggest idiot of the year award? I think we got a clear-cut winner here.
Best sports and fighting game.
Oh God, this category is always death, Boat. Here we go.
Hello, Pixels at Dawn here. The Amiga has a long and storied history with sports games, less so fighting games. I mean, you would be hard pressed to actually find a decent fighting game on the Amiga. But sports games have been around on the Amiga for a long time with games like Sensible Soccer and Sensible Golf and Sensible World of Soccer and other games like that. Anyway, the nominations for Best Sports and Fighting Game are WWF WrestleMania, Nick Faldo's Championship Golf, and California Games. And the winner is Nick Faldo's Championship Golf.
All right. Well, if you would have asked me at the beginning of the year which one of those games deserved to win, if you would have just given me the list, I would have told you California Games, no question. However, after playing California Games, this is going to be one I've got to go with the listeners on. Nick Faldo's Golf, for all of its flaws, it interested me. It took on golf in a different way than a lot of other games did, and it made me want to figure out why it decided to be as horrible as it was. And the fact that it had a completely different engine for the CD32 version was interesting.
Wacky.
Yeah, and the whole, the swing mechanic thing, the fact that your caddies were just merciless to you, the whole game was, it was different. It was different.
They were worse than the world class leaderboard guy.
Yeah, yeah. And so, this is just another one where, is Nick Faldo, a great game? No. Is Nick Faldo a good game? No. But it was, in my opinion, the best game that we played this year in the sports and fighting category.
I want to just, we narrowed these down to 3 we announced, but listen to these choices. WWF WrestleMania, Tennis Cup 2, which I believe that was one where they picked the wrong game because they were looking for the other good tennis game. Strikes and Spares, which I believe we heard from the author on that after we lambasted it. California Games and Ballistics. So, yes. Now, believe it or not, I voted for California Games on this. I couldn't bring myself to vote for Nick Faldo, but I'm not going to fight on people on this one because I think Nick Faldo is probably a better interpretation of golf than California Games is an interpretation of the various things it attempts. I will say that.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, not a good year for sports games, but that's for dark. There was no sensible soccers sprinkled in here, that's for sure.
No. And, we should probably talk about this now for the people that are not involved in the Discord. And next year, we are actually starting a new category called, I have no idea what it's going to be called. I think we're going to call it Second Look.
Don't do that.
We're calling it that because I didn't totally.
How do you announce an award and then you don't know the name?
So but one of the categories that the game selection committee is going to vote on is they're going to vote on us taking a second look at the games from our first 50 episodes. So those first 50 episodes, to call them a little rocky would be a massive understatement. And those games, a lot of those games are some of the best games on the Amiga, and they do deserve a second look. So hopefully next year we'll have a lot, higher quality slate of games to choose from just because of those first 50 games being included.
What'll be fun, Bode, is when we go back, and after we should add a segment to the episode where we go back and see what we thought about it the first time. That's if we contradict ourselves thoroughly.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna go back and look at those early because I want to enter these games fresh. And half of the games I can't remember what I thought of them because it's 5 years ago now. So it'll be an interesting thing to go into 2021 with for sure.
Well, congratulations to Nick Faldo. We'll be FedExing a trophy over his house with due haste.
All right, Aaron. The next category is brought to us from the Low Countries, from the Netherlands. Frodo NL is going to announce the best strategy game. Take it away, Frodo.
Hi, I'm Frodo NL. The nominees for Best Strategy Game are Nuclear War, Dune 2, and Laser Squad. And the winner is Dune 2.
So this is an interesting category. Lords of Chaos, I really think, should have been in this category rather than the adventure RPG category.
I agree.
Because if you look
there
at
is
some
adventure elements to it. So it's a hybrid boat.
Yeah. Now, and this was a really tough category for me to pick.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of games that do deserve to win, including all of the nominees. I thought I'm not a huge fan of like squad-based combat, but Laser Squad was so much more fun for me to play than UFO because it was so much easier. There was so much less. I felt like I could understand what was going on. Dune 2, of course, deserves to win because it basically invented the modern genre of the RTS real-time strategy games. And plus, Dune 2 is just such a seminal title. So this one was a hard one for me to pick. I don't know, Aaron. What are your thoughts?
In my opinion, this was one of the two categories this year where we really had good games. I mean, if you look at what was available in this one, aside from the ones you mentioned, there was also Nuclear War, which we liked, Space Crusade, and Traders. and Escape from Colditz, which was super difficult, but it was very interesting.
Well, we didn't actually play Traders. We played Transarctica instead because Traders was the game we couldn't figure out. And so I
couldn't remember Traders.
Yeah, I didn't put that in there. But if Transarctica was in this category, it would win for me because I think because it had it has ambition coming out the wazoo. Of course, it's impenetrable unless you really know what you're doing. But there was just a feeling that I got as I was playing the game, as I was learning more about it, that I was like, wow, this is really something new and different. Now, which game deserved to win? Definitely Dune 2, because like I said, it invented a genre. There's no way around it.
I don't look at it that way. Which one did I like the most? I will say I didn't vote for Dune 2, but I will say this. One of my proudest accomplishments this year was to figure out how to play Dune 2. Because this is another one I've been dreading. I knew it was coming. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be tough. Mm-hmm. And I actually sat down and figured out how to play it and actually did okay at it. And it was actually fun. I was much better at this than Dune 1. That's for darn sure.
So what did you vote for in this category?
I believe I voted for Nuclear War. Now, that's a travesty. I'll admit that. This is a far better game. But Nuclear War, I had fun playing it, so I picked it. But I agree with you. I even actually had a decent go of Laser Squad as well. These games are all pretty good, and even that Transarctica was a very intriguing game. I thought these were real diverse and interesting. Good categories.
And it does reflect on the fact that, if you want to play sort of deep strategical games, the Amiga is the place to be. I mean, it's sort of its crowning glory. It's the opposite of the sports and fighting category is the strategy category where there's just so much gold there.
Clearly, we do a better job with this than they do the other ones.
Yeah. All right. We're going to move on to our next category. Aaron, you want to go ahead and fire that one up?
The next one we have on the docket here is and this one's always death. I'm going to preface this. Best public domain game, Boat.
Right.
If that is possible to have. So let's see what we've got here.
Hiya, my name is Paul Davis, also known as Hermsky in our Discord channel. I live in a small town called Kidderminster in England, historically known for its carpet industry. I can also take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy retro gaming new year. And here are the nominees for the best public domain game. Star Trek the game, Super Dodge, and finally Space Taxi 3. And the winner for the public domain category is Space Taxi 3.
Here it is, Boat. Space Taxi 3.
Yeah. Now, this was another one that was difficult for me to choose because as much as I don't really care for public domain games on the whole, because a lot of the times they're dependent upon multiplayer, in-person multiplayer, and we don't really get a chance to do that on this show. There were some good ones this time. I thought that the Pingo clone that we played was good. That was, one of the nominees. I thought that, of course, Super Dodge, that I just have such great memories of playing that at Amiga Ireland with all the crew. So I'm a little bit, biased against Super Dodge. In Space Taxi, it's a competent clone of the C64 original, although it did seem to lack a lot of what made the C64 game good in terms of the, atmosphere and everything like that. I'll tell you what didn't deserve to win. One of the nominees, Mr. Men Olympics. That was a travesty.
I can't believe that Mr. Men. I learned that that's a thing, and it's baffling to me that that's a thing.
Yeah.
I guess we've got like the dancing raisins and stuff, and they've got those.
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't vote for this, although it's not the worst pick. In fact, I sort of contradicted myself from the last category. I actually voted for the game I thought was the deepest and most complicated, and someone worked the hardest on, which I thought was Star Trek the game. I thought that was I mean, I remember how intricate that game was.
Well, I remember not being able to get anywhere and
that's
having no documentation.
Listen.
So if that's your criteria, then
That is
you
my
totally
criteria.
contradicted what you said in the last category.
I told you that. I told you it was a contract. I'm just telling you who I voted for. I voted for Star Trek the game. That much said, Space Taxi 3, it's serviceable. It's not, but I mean, it's not even an original idea, is it? They looked at Space Taxi.
I mean, very few PD games are original ideas. Let's.
What are you talking about? You saying Star Trek the game? They got that idea somewhere else. This was not the best year.
I'd love to see somebody sit down. In fact, I'd love to see the creator of this game sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to give you half an hour and I want to explain this game to you so you can get some enjoyment out of it. If he did that, I'd be over the moon because I'd love to check it out. It looks really cool from what little bit I did see of it. So
I believe that guy went on to be like a big deal, as I recall from doing that show.
Yeah,
there you go. But congratulations
little chance
to
of him
Space
breaking
Taxi.
it down. All right, Aaron, we're going to move on to our next Amigos moment.
Oh, God.
Okay, and like I have no idea what this is, so we'll just have to watch it.
All righty, here we go. You have to learn how to fight the enemies. Like, for example, the hyenas, they sort of jump and miss and tire themselves out. You kill them. Then the buzzards, they do their thing. And, same thing with learn how to turn over the porcupine.
Well, but again, it's a variety of enemies that you have to kill using a variety of strategies.
I didn't think there were that many enemies either. If you watch the whole game, you could probably count the number of enemies.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to see the whole game because you're not good enough to get past the second level.
I didn't think the difficulty was all that hard. I mean, granted, I didn't.
You got to the second level. Oh yeah, it's the best playing Amiga platform. I mean, it's definitely in the top 5 best playing Amiga platformers. If you take this against Super Frog, it destroys Super Frog. If you look at this versus James Pond, this game destroys James Pond. The problem is that this game came out in 1995. The art of the platformer had already been perfected, and the world had moved on in 1995.
I don't agree with you that I don't think this is in the upper echelon of Amiga platformers.
Oh, I totally do.
Not because it's not beautiful, but because I just don't like the structure of the play. The kind of mazy.
It's not mazy at all. It's completely linear. There's only one path.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like that sort of thing.
You don't like Mario?
I don't agree with you on the quality of this. I think it's okay. One of the things that bothers me about it is
I'm going to continue to fight you on this because look at the graphics, look at the way it plays, look at the variety of enemies, look at the music that goes on while it plays.
There's not a big variety of enemies. That's not true. And there's also, like I said, I don't like the gameplay that much. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't like having to start over every time I die.
Well,
I don't like that.
Not having an adequate checkpoint system is the fault of many games. You know what this level reminded me of is those horrible Earthworm Jim games. Do you remember those?
I like Earthworm Jim, actually.
No, that's what this reminds me of.
Well, I like that. But there's plenty here to dock points over. Do I think this is a C game? I'd say a high C or a low B.
That's insane. That's insane on the Amiga. That's insane.
Listen, I call him like I see him. I don't think this was as good as, like, say, James Pond 2 in terms of gameplay.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god! You are out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Go back and play James Pond 2 and regale yourself of the awesome platforming action.
I played it.
Then come back to The Lion King.
This is not a game I would probably go back to. Let's just put that. Just it was too frustrating for me.
Leif Kilon writes, "This game is absolutely terrible. It controls horribly, the frame rate and scrolling is choppy, and the level design is an absolute mess. The graphics are nice and the animations are complex, though with the choppy scrolling and low frame rate, it all just becomes a messy chaos. If this hadn't had the license, it would have been a stillbirth. Bode is blinded by his love for the mediocre Disney flick that this one is based on. Aaron gets it, though. Way to stand your ground, Aaron. 3 out of 10.
Was this review just sent in?
This was just sent in. This was just sent in.
Good job, Leif. There you go.
some real-time reviewing done by Leif Kilon.
Oh man, that's good stuff. I love it. I love that. You really were trying to bury me, Bo, right there on the show.
I was trying to defend the good name of the Lion King.
Oh, are you kidding me? Get that out.
All right, Aaron. We got our next category is going to be Best Platformer with another guest presenter. So let's fire this one up.
I'm Kate Fox from the Macintosh Librarian YouTube channel. I'm here with Mackie to announce the nominees for the Best Platformer category. The nominees are Leander, Traps and Treasures, and Tiny Little Slug. And the winner is Leander.
You know, Aaron, I've got to say that this is the first category that I was truly shocked by the results.
Really?
Yeah. It boggles the mind. There can be nothing other than the blind devotion to the Psygnosis box art.
Here we go, another burial.
It's like agony all over again. It's like all those games.
Now wait a minute, this was a solid title. You're bad mouthing Leander.
Should I remind you of the history of Leander? It was one guy from a demo group who could draw a cool dragon on his Amiga. He took this to Psygnosis and they said, "Can you build a game around this?" And he said, "Maybe."
Listen.
And the result was Leander.
Now, I remember us thinking this is a pretty decent little title here. I don't believe we buried it.
Okay, this is not the worst platformer on the Amiga. This is definitely better than Super Frog.
Not while
Let's get that
Lion
out of
King's
the way
walking
right
around.
now. But compared to the other two nominees, it is dead last. Tiny Little Slug could act, it is a console quality platformer. It's a legit great game. There's no reason why that shouldn't have won other than its insanely high price tag. Traps and Treasures, it also was very, very inventive and very cool. It also had a sad story. Remember, the guy that spent like half of his life developing it saw no financial recourse from it. But I still remember having a ton of fun with Traps and Treasures. It was one of those, Euro style games where you had the maze like layout. You were trying to collect a certain number of things to be able to exit. But it was fun. The sound design was amazing in Traps and Treasures. The graphics were great. There was a wide variety of enemies. I was a huge fan of both Tiny Little Slug and Traps and Treasures. Either one of those could have won. The other games that were nominated, or the other platformers that we covered, Trolls, Seymour Goes to Hollywood, and Naughty Ones,
which we
I
liked.
Can't even remember.
We liked Seymour Goes to Hollywood. Actually,
yeah, Seymour was okay.
Naughty Ones was pretty good. We both liked that.
Yeah, Trolls, of course, horrible. But this was a pretty strong category.
What did you vote for in this one?
Oh, I voted for Traps and Treasures. I thought that was a totally unique game, and it's a genre that I don't normally like, but I just thought it was really well done.
I voted for Tiny Little Slug in this one. I thought that was a real unusual, original title that really took that sort of game in a different route. Now, it could be a bit frustrating, and it certainly didn't hold your hand, but I enjoyed it. But I liked all these games. Even Trolls was an absolute. I mean, the backstory was pretty stupid. That's one of the things I liked about Trolls. But I mean, it wasn't. We've seen much worse. Let's just put it that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, next up we have the best shooter category. Get ready.
Hi, I'm Mitsuyama, and I'm delighted to join you tonight to announce the winner of the Best Shooter category in the Amigos Best of 2020 Awards. So, without further ado, the nominations are Wings of Fury from Broderbund, Apidia from Blue Byte, and Desert Strike from Electronic Arts. And the winner is Apidia from Blue Byte. Congratulations to them, and a Happy New Year to you all.
I love it.
This was another strong category. I
I
thought all
agree.
three of these games should have won, or they had the opportunity to win. Um, I do agree with the winner. I think Apidia is a total underrated gem of a game. The fact that this runs on an OCS ECS Amiga and looks as good as it does and plays as fast as it does
Yeah.
is a testament to what this hardware can do under the right hands, the right programmer. Of course the problem with it is just the difficulty. It's too much. Once you die once and you lose all of your upgrades, it's way too hard to get back to where you were again. But I was very impressed with Apidia. But I also like the other games too. Wings of Fury I had a ton of fun with. It's a very different sort of shooter game. And of course, who doesn't love Desert Strike, blowing up a bunch of stuff with your helicopter? So.
I voted for Apidia, believe it or not. Even though, because I didn't like Awesome was on the list, and I really love Awesome, but there are some parts that aren't. It's not really a proper shooter. It's more of an adventure game or something. And you also had a couple other, Dogs of War was on there. But I think my two favorites of the list were Desert Strike and Apidia, and I just thought Apidia, the originality, the gloss on it. I really enjoy this. It is a difficult title, but I find a lot of shooters difficult. So for me, it's just another thing that I'm not good at, basically. Yeah. But I like the idea of an insect-based shooter. I like the fake Japanese, baloney that they stuck in there. That's the backstory. So it's wacky. I dug it, and you're right. They took the OCS ECS chipset and they said here they really cranked up the colors. You love the colors, Boat.
I do love the colors.
And this is colorful and unique. And for those merits, I give this the big thumbs up. This is what I voted for.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Coming up next is the puzzle game category, coming to us from the Great White North.
Hi, my name is Jason Warrens, and it's my privilege to be able to announce the nominees for the best puzzle game. And the nominees are Pushover, Goldcorn Expressin, Bill's Tomato Game, and the winner is Pushover.
This is another category where we only played 3 puzzle games this year.
Yeah.
So they
But this I think this was a real tough. This is a real tough one right here because all of these, even that goofy Guildcorn Express was interesting. But you had I thought Bill's Tomato Game was an excellent game. But I think this was the sleeper hit of the year for me. This game I thought was just awesome, Boat. And you know me, a puzzle game, get it out. Right. But man, I voted for this thing big time. What about you?
Number one with a bullet.
Yeah.
This was a game that I sat down and I told this story on the show where I was like, okay, I'm going to give this thing a go. It'll probably be like every puzzle game that we play for Amigos, where it's like I get through the first level maybe, and then the second level is so impossibly difficult that I'm driving myself nuts trying to do it without a walkthrough and end up having to use a walkthrough, feeling horrible about myself and just, despairing the rest of the week. This game, I sat down and started playing this game. I glanced up at the clock, 3 hours had passed, and it was 3 hours of fun. There's just something about the domino mechanic that really struck me as like an awesome mechanic.
Yeah.
I love your little ant guy. I love his colorful antics.
He's actually endearing as opposed to off-putting.
Right. Everything about this game, I remember thinking, I think the music was good, though I'll have to go back and listen to the music, but the music definitely probably didn't annoy me. And the fact that there were so many different types of dominoes, it almost kind of made the game feel like Worms a little bit, how you had to learn the different traits of the different dominoes to make them do different things. And as long as you had that information up, on the screen next to you or whatever, you could get by pretty easily. So this game also did not get too hard too fast. The difficulty curve was pretty much perfect. This was a fantastic game. Yeah,
I agree.
That's all I can say.
This one This was.
Oh, it also features Colin Curley, which one of our favorite British snack time fans.
Who'd have thunk that? Who'd have pictured that guy beginning the game doesn't suck?
Yeah.
Or those that product. Listen, this was great. This my favorite Amiga puzzle game of all time. Maybe it's that good to me, and it came out of nowhere. And trust me, when this thing popped up on the screen, I'm like, oh, what is this garbage gonna be? And man, I'm telling you, I love when that happens. That's the best part of this show. It's when we play something and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, it's something I've never played before, I've never heard of, and it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So yeah, big thumbs up for me on this one. I was stunned and amazed.
Yeah. Okay, Aaron. Our next, this is going to be Amigos, wacky Amigos moment number 3.
Oh, God.
Whatever that is.
Brace yourself, folks. Here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ask the Amigos section of, this thing.
Eloquently put, Boat.
Packbilly asks, what's your favorite place you've ever been? It can be anything from a city down to a supermarket.
Now, you've been many, many places. So this is probably harder for you than it is for me. Now, my favorite place I've ever been, I'll tell you. I love the beach, Boat.
Yeah. I'm always shocked to hear you talk about how much you love the beach. I don't peg you as a beach bum.
I'm from the Jersey Shore,
yes,
Boat.
Yes.
So it's ingrained into me, all right? And I love the beach. And I'll have to say, the last time we went to Carolina Beach, that beach has a bad rep for being sort of wonky with a bunch of bad elements involved. But I really enjoyed that. The historical aspects of it, the beach itself, I really enjoyed it. The old woman was on her best behavior for once, and the kid had a good time. So I would say somewhere on the coast. Now, I do like the Nags Head area, so probably but the thing is, it's inundated with tourists. Mm-hmm. So I guess I'd want to go somewhere sort of south of the Carolina coast area where there's not that many tourists, but I would like to live on the beach. I think that's where I'd like to go. But yeah, I'd say the Carolina Beach area, I really enjoyed that.
For me, it would be the Japanese countryside for sure. Give me Japan. Give me a nice public bathhouse. Give me a band, because if you've ever seen, you're making a face at the public bathhouse.
That's right, Bo. I am. Let me tell you something. If I strolled into a public bathhouse and saw your naked hiney sticking out, that's no bias, man. I don't want to see that.
Listen, everybody wants to see that.
No.
Give me a good Japanese band to direct. I'd be happy. That's all I want.
No. Huh? Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
So you're telling me your naked white Caucasian butt's gonna stroll into a Japanese bathhouse? Have you done that before?
Yes, of course I have.
Why?
Because it's awesome.
Can't you take a bath at home?
No. Listen, man, you don't know the joys of the public bathhouse unless you've gone. I'm not talking about like 1970s San Francisco public bathhouse. It's a different thing over there. You get naked, you shower up, you soap down, you shower up again, then you get in the hot pool, then you get in the cold pool, then you get in the sauna, then it's back to the cold pool.
No.
How comfortable are you with being around tons of other naked men?
Not comfortable, Bo.
You would not like it.
Listen, I'm not rolling to Japan and dropping trowel and going into a public bathhouse. What's the advantages of that versus a private bath?
Paul, a.k.a. Hermsky, asks...
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second. No. We're not done yet. You didn't answer the question. If you're soaked up and naked in your own bathroom, why do you need to be soaked up and naked in front of a bunch of other men?
Okay.
What is the appeal of that?
I'll tell you what the appeal is. The appeal is that you are surrounded by nature. Okay, so if you go to one of these public bathhouses, you've seen anime before. You know how it goes down. There's a
tentacle in there.
No, there's tons of trees around and stuff like that. There's tons of bamboo.
In a bathhouse?
Yes.
There's bamboo up in there.
Yeah.
And trees in a bathhouse?
Yeah, and then you just strike up the conversation.
Aren't there a bunch of naked Japanese guys in the bathhouse?
You just walk up.
You're talking to a naked Japanese guy in the bathhouse.
Listen, man, if you're not talking
what
naked...
do you say to him?
You say...
Nice wang.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you possible... No, that's not what you say. Horrible. That's a horrible answer. Move on.
Okay.
Well, it's funny, you don't remember any of these conversations, but someone did.
Oh boy. Well,
there you go, Bode.
so let's move on, shall we? This is our next award is the biggest disappointment of 2020, aka
I think we just saw it.
aka the Rose-Colored Glasses Award. So let's fire this one up, man.
Okay, man.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Flack O'Hara, and here are the nominees for the biggest disappointment, aka the Rose-Colored Glasses Award. The nominees are 007 License to Kill, California Games, The Lion King, and the winner is California Games.
Wow. What do you think of that, Bode?
Well, I don't know how Lion King got in there. I'll tell you that.
I do. I didn't vote for it. I will say that. You know, I noticed that every game was pretty much nominated for this. I mean, you could pick anyone you wanted. Are you surprised that Cali Games got the nod on this?
Yes, I am surprised. However, I voted for this without knowing that it would win. If you would have asked me before we played this game, do you like California Games? I would have said, heck yeah, let's fire it up right now. I love California Games. But, after playing this game, especially when you compare it to a lot of the other games, it is pretty weak. It is pretty weak. So I agree. Yeah, like what do I like in California Games? I like Hacky Sack a lot.
Yeah.
Hacky Sack's pretty fun. There are a lot of the events where there's one or two things that keep them from being fun, and they just turn into an exercise in frustration. For example, we're watching the BMX event right now.
Yeah.
If they would have given you unlimited wrecks in this game and just made it a time trial / score game, it would have been great, because then you could have familiarized yourself with the course. You could have had fun playing it. But the way that it's set up, to me, is just not a whole lot of fun, because it encourages you not to take any unnecessary risks, because if you fall on your neck, you're dead. Now, of course, this is just like the argument we had with Nick Faldo. Like, it's more realistic, but I'm playing a freaking video game. I don't want realistic. I want fun.
Well, the thing is, you can practice these and become good at them. Like, look at this guy; he's killing it. That's not us playing, by the way. Newsflash. But I think California Games is exactly how I remembered it in terms of disappointing. I looked at this category in terms of which game disappointed me the most, and when I think disappointment, I think which game should have been good, could have been good, but they dropped the ball in something and it made it disappointing. And that, for me, that was Roadkill. I thought Roadkill had a lot of potential, and they just didn't get the job done. I don't know. Do you remember Roadkill AGA? They were zoomed in too close to the car,
right?
And it ruined the game.
Yeah.
And that's the one I picked. I was like, man, this could have been. I mean, it had a lot going for it, and it could have been a really good game. But they just dropped the ball, and so
it might be worthwhile in the future actually having these as separate categories where you vote for what you think was the biggest disappointment, like you said, Roadkill, versus a game that you're familiar with that when you played it again didn't hold up to your rose-colored glasses.
I will say, when it comes to California Games, I still like this game, but for rose-tinted glasses, I sucked at these events when this game was brand new. So it's not like I went back and I was like, boy, I love this game. I went back and think to myself, well, I'm going to suck at this. And then
it's funny, because what I've discovered is that the reason why I hold California Games in such high regard in my mind is because I take the best bits of every port and combine them into like the ultimate California games in my brain. So it's like I take the Hacky Sack from the Amiga, I take the mountain bike or the BMX from the 2600 version, and I take the good old flying disc from the NES version. All those put together, I just leave roller skating out completely because it's horrible.
Yeah.
All those put together make a pretty good game.
It seems like I did a stream where I played a bunch of these, didn't I?
I think you probably did.
One of my Friday night streams. So yeah, someone can go hunt that down. Yeah, but I mean, I can understand why this won. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Our next category, Aaron, sticking with the sort of bad games group, is Dumpster Fire of 2020.
Oh, man.
Get ready.
Hello, I'm Neil from RMC Retro, and the nominees for Dumpster Fire are Strikes and Spares, Mr. Men Olympics, WWF WrestleMania, and the winner of Dumpster Fire is it's WWF WrestleMania. Congratulations.
There you go.
So this one is easy to pick a winner because there are all three of those nominations are well deserved. I didn't get a chance to play, WrestleMania. I was in Ireland, I believe, for Amiga Ireland.
Me and Brent did covered that one. I remember that.
So, and I haven't given this one what you call a fair look. So it's hard for me to vote for the winner, WrestleMania, although I know that it surely is not one of your favorite games. But would you call this a dumpster fire compared to Popeye Wrestling?
Oh yeah, this is much. What makes this worse is what it makes me feel, because I love wrestling, and they took the graphics from WWF Superstars, the arcade game, which never got a home port. They took a bunch of the graphics, or they reskinned a lot of the graphics for this, and the ring and some other stuff, and that was a great game. And then they made this absolute dud, unplayable garbage. I mean, if you looked at this on the back of the box and you were familiar with WWF WrestleMania, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's the home port. I remember when I first discovered this and I looked at it, I'm like, man, this is going to be awesome. Then you play it, and it's just so bad. And you're thinking to yourself, why didn't they just take all the stuff they did in WWF Superstars and put it in this? You could easily do it. They didn't do it. It's just a complete dud. Now, that much said, Mr. Man Olympics was a big old dud as well. There were plenty of bad games that we covered, but I think this one was, to me, I thought this was straight up garbage, unplayable garbage. And another one where you probably paid full price for it. It's a big licensed title.
Oh yeah, and the box is beautiful too.
Yeah, you wouldn't have got jobbed out, brother. And the sad thing is, this is one of my favorite Amigos of the year because me and Brick got to dress up, so it was a lot of fun. When you were out of town, we went bananas. So that was fun. But yeah, it's garbage, hot garbage. Good choice, everybody.
It's hard for me to pick a game for this one because, just going over the list of all of the games that we played this year, there weren't any that were really, just horrible from beginning to end. It's hard for me to pick anything that those really just, there were no redeeming qualities for at all. I do understand the appeal of putting Mr. Men Olympics in this category because you could have made an absolutely amazing game with the Mr. Men crew.
Right, but it was free. That's the thing that I was like, this was a free game. I mean, you paid $50 for this for WWF, and so that to me, that's a straight up dumpster fire. Plus, believe it or not, as stupid as Mr. Men Olympics was, it was actually sort of playable. Like you could play a game. Whereas as WWF, you could do nothing. You just sat there with a dumb look on your face and an empty wallet.
Yeah. So probably a good move for WWF WrestleMania to win this one for sure.
What a dud.
All right, Aaron, we're going on to our final Amigos moment of the evening. This is going to be another clip of us from the past.
Oh, brace yourselves.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Our Sinclair. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we're going to talk about Football Manager.
This is going to be, for the people watching at home, prepare yourself for a visual feast.
It's funny. Duncan Styles does so many of our intros for all of our shows. And you know how he always puts the little picture of the dog in there? And looking at Kevin Tom's picture there in the corner, that's just what that made me think of.
So let's talk about this Football Manager, Bode. I'm going to tell you before we start that when this got picked, I knew of the game's existence and these simulators and stuff, and I've been sweating it because I knew I was like, one of these suckers in the committee, they're going to get one of these through. This came out in '82, programmed by a fellow named Kevin J.M. Tom.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of, well, not a bunch. He did some stuff. He did President, Software Star. He did he did this game. I think he did one other game. Then his design sort of got picked up. The Football Manager banner as they moved on through it. I mentioned it to Boat. I printed out the instructions for this game. I was like, I knew I was in for it, and I sat down. It was time to start playing this game, and I was shaking. I was nervous, Boat. What were your first impressions, Boat, when this thing honed into view? Did you know what to expect? Had you tried this before?
I was prepared for the worst, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I was mostly infuriated on this screen.
Really?
Yeah, because my team perpetually got smashed. For one thing, now listen, Boat, I don't watch a lot of soccer, but this freaking goal is as wide as a semi-truck.
It seems to be out of proportion to the size of the players.
No kidding. This game, let's boil it down here for a second, Boat, because we went over the particular. This is the lowest conceivable form of a football manager. Like, it has the bare minimum choices that you can make. The game is not deep at all.
Right.
But overall, listen, the game is not attractive. It's not deep. It's flawed. It's weird in some aspects. It's missing things. So, I mean, is this a 10 out of 10 game? God, no.
Well, we should ask Kevin Toms because he just entered the Twitch chat as you were saying that.
but to finish my thought, is it a 10 out of 10? No, but what it is this is one of those fantasy fulfillment games that you can see why it got popular, and you can certainly see someone thinking outside the box and moving and really making the concept of this a money maker.
Yeah.
And really ultimately that's what when you look at this game and you read on the box what you can do with it, that's you're printing money, man.
All right, Aaron.
That's dirty pool right there.
Take us back. Take us back.
Well, it's funny. I was just telling Boat. I remember this distinctly because I remember that game and everything I said was true. I was like, man, I've been sweating this. And it ended up, it was light. It was like a light, fluffy souffle of a soccer game, Boat. Just easy peasy. And I remember thinking, man, this is the least deep. I mean, it's actually exactly when you're going to give me a soccer manager game, that was the one. I mean, it was dumb guy, stupid. And anyone could play it. And so since I didn't know what I was doing, I could play it. When I remember Boat saying to the guy, because he told me after the show, or maybe towards the end, who the guy was, because I'd forgotten the guy's name. So when the guy came in the room, he goes, such and such is in the room. And when you announced him, I was like, that's weird. I didn't know what you were talking about. So it took me a few minutes to realize that the guy that made the game had rolled in. All that said, I didn't backpedal. I was down with the clown. I was totally honest with this game, and I actually gave this thing some praise because it was so simple that dumb guy me could play it. And so, yeah, but it was neat to have the guy. I love it when the people that make the games come rolling in. That happens occasionally. But yeah. I don't think I did I backpedal that much, Boat?
Well, it's possible that you were naming the negative aspects first before you were going to turn the corner on it anyway. It just happened to be where he rolled in as soon as you were burying it.
It did seem like I was just on full-on burial mode, didn't
it? But yeah, that was great.
Oh,
that was
God.
great.
I don't know where you dug this stuff up. Who put these together, Boat?
It's a Dunk. The Dunk and
You're
Styles
a genius,
did
Dunk.
all of this. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on to a couple more predictions, Aaron, for 2020. First one comes to us. It says, Pixels at Dawn launches his solo career and performs at the Super Bowl.
Well,
now that Twitch Sings is over, that's going to be his next move.
Oh, man, I forgot about that. That does suck.
Yeah,
I love those.
Yeah. The return of the Coco Show. Yes.
Hey,
congratulations. You
got that
correctly
one right.
predicted the future. Yeah. The Amiga makes a comeback and totally crushes Microsoft and Apple. Boat and Aaron are hired to be the official PR guys for the brand new company and move to their new multi-billion-dollar Amigo studio island in the Bahamas.
Oh man, yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
The problem with that is there's no way that with all the even if we were decided that we were going to be the spokesman, which that does seem like a decision the old Commodore would make. Let's pick these two idiots to be our representatives. But you'd still have to get all the other idiots together to agree on something. I don't see it happening.
Let's see. COVID infects the world servers of Google, becoming the first crossover human computer virus. Boy, that sounds like something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Vaccine cooling systems run by an Amiga. Probably not what we want.
I don't know. From what I've read, that may be happening.
Did you read today? Never mind. We'll talk about that later. Amiga phone AGA. See you later, iPhone. 2021 is going to be a terrible year for mankind and a terrific one for the Amigos. So at least we come out ahead, Aaron. We'll be in our new Bahamas
Aren't we
studios.
part of mankind? It seems like we're getting both sides.
We've transcended mankind at this point.
Hopefully, we're on the island by then.
That's right. Godzilla awakens and eats New York, Tokyo, and Hurricane. So that's it. Number 3. Oftentimes when people list the most important cities of the world, they do list New York, Tokyo, and Hurricane in that order.
Hurricane would be like when you are totally full, but you think you can fit in like that last biscuit or something. That's when he comes over and just stomps on us.
Well, it's like an after dinner mint.
That's right.
Except it's a turd. Let's see. COVID vaccine derived zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Retro computer prices keep going up and up.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Aaron will go to jail for not paying his $60 ISP repair bill.
Hey, you damn right. I'm not paying that sucker. And I go to jail all the time, so that's going to happen too.
John will have an opinion that I agree with. So
I wish I knew who wrote that.
Disney and Apple will buy up the rest of my childhood when they purchase Evel Knievel, Light Bright, and Slinky.
Oh man!
I wonder if Disney is concerned with the Evel Knievel license. That's sure to be pretty sought after. I would think.
Did he get that many video games based on him?
I think he got one.
I mean, how do you miss that? A motorcycle game with the king of all motorcycles?
Well, I think that his star was starting to fade by the time when it's sort of the opposite thing was happening. The rise of video games and the fall of Evel Knievel kind of happened at the same time.
This is a little. I'm going to give some advice. Somebody, go out now. You can probably get that Evel Knievel license cheap. Go out and make a game right now. I guarantee
Evel Knievel
you make
Stunt
money.
Cycle 2021.
You got that right,
Bam.
Bode.
And the last prediction for this year. The community will grow and grow, and the ICC will be a recognized global body.
Oh, that was one of the high points of the year, the old International Computer Club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you to everybody who submitted those predictions. We appreciate them all, and hopefully the good ones will come true.
Yeah, the bad ones are really bad, though. So
we don't want those. We don't want those. All right, Aaron, it's time to come along to our final 2 categories. We are going to kick things off with category number 11, the best Our Sinclair game of 2020. Hit the music.
Hi everyone, this is Graham W. Vebke from what I call the Man Closet in Sydney, Australia. And today on Amigos Retro Gaming ASMR, I am trying Vegemite. Oh no, hang on, I'm meant to read the nominees for Our Sinclair Game of 2020. These games are Batman, the Caped Crusader, Trashman, Rainbow Islands, and the winner of the Our Sinclair Game of 2020 is Trashman.
There you go, Bo. What'd you think of that one?
100%.
Yeah.
Trashman rules my world.
That's what I voted for. Voted for Trashman. And we did cover a lot of good Sinclair stuff, but that was a great game. I love that one.
Yeah, I thought that this was all the years are good years for the R. Sinclair show, and it is good that we are going to be bringing it back. A new episode was just released a couple weeks ago, and we've got a new one coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I loved Trash Man. To me, it encapsulates everything that's great about this Spectrum. It's just a really wacky concept, bright, beautiful colors, fast gameplay. I loved everything about this game. I thought it was great.
Listen, if someone said, "What's your when you want to play something on the ZX, what are you going to play that encompasses the machine?" Bam, Trash Man.
Yeah.
This guy, listen, it's got the element of trying to get in and out of the house and keep the trash going. It's got the little details of like the guy even dumping the trash. It's got the details where you're going in for the tip and all the crazy.
You're talking to people.
Yeah, it's got all the stuff that makes the ZX such a unique system. That this is a beautiful game. I just thought this was a great game. It's not one you pick up instantly, but and it's something else that appeals to everyone everywhere. Everyone's got a guy that does this. It's just a brilliant concept. It's unique. This was my runaway choice on this one, Boat. I know it was yours as well. I was very pleased to see this one take the title.
Yeah, and the good news is there's actually a sequel to this game called Travel with Trash Man, Aaron. So we might have to take a look at that at some point in the future because I definitely want to travel with Trash Man.
Yeah,
it
me
sounds
too.
like a great idea.
Just not in the back.
No, up front. All right, Aaron, we've come to the end, the final category of the best Amigos Best of 2020 celebration. This is the Game of the Year.
Ooh.
The Game of the Year, direct from the Man Cave. Fire it up.
Here we go.
Hi, I'm Edwin in the Man Cave. I'm here to announce the 2020 Amigos Game of the Year. And the nominees are Dune 2, Pushover, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and the winner is Dune 2. Yay!
And there it is, Boat.
Yeah, and it was a pretty substantial margin of victory for Dune 2. Lots of people chose that as the game of the year. Again, I can see why not my game of the year. For me, it was all Pushover all the time. That was
That's what I picked too, Boat.
Really?
I
Really?
picked Pushover as well. I love it.
Total surprise. I would have never thought I would pick a puzzle game as my game of the year. But man, I really liked it a lot. I thought it was great. But we played a lot of good games this year.
We did.
It was a banner year for the show. The AGSC did a great job of picking games for us. And next year, in addition to the our Second Look series, the AGSC is also going to be choosing games from the ever popular edutainment category. So get ready for that.
Oh yeah, those are going to go down hard, Boat. I'm sure the Brent will be happy. He loved those edutainment titles.
Yeah,
But Dune 2, a good choice. Hey, listen, I'm not going to bury this one, and because I even had fun with it, and I suck at these sorts of games, and it was actually you could see they did I mean, for the time, it's fairly streamlined. It was fun. I mean, I have to say, it was surprisingly fun and far less painful than I would have anticipated. It's got building, it's got the battling, it's got a lot of stuff, production stuff. Just they really rolled a lot into one game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, a big thank you again to all those of you who voted. And next year, when this rolls around again, if you didn't get a chance to vote, you feel free to. You can always go to everythingamiga.com/vote around November-ish when I put this list together, and you can vote for next year's Game of the Year awards. I do want to give a shout out to you, Aaron, for putting together this whole thing on OBS. All of these scenes are just beautiful, man. You really did it. You knocked it out of the park with the production. This year.
Hey, listen, thanks to you, thanks to all of our contributors who stepped up. Bo, you did a lot of the production. Don't feed me all that. You were kicking it old school. But hey, I appreciate everybody. I think it was a lot of fun, And I think that the votes, for the most part, I agree. There was no Three Stooges style screw ups this year, so I approve.
Yeah. And of course, it wouldn't be an Amigos episode if we didn't thank all of the fine people that keep this show rolling. You can support Amigos in any number of ways, either through Patreon support. We do offer also monthly PayPal. You can support the show in the same way. And of course, if you're watching right now on Twitch, you can subscribe to Amigos on Twitch and also be invited to our Discord community, which is the single greatest online community, in my opinion, in the universe. We do want to take a second and thank our Twitch subscribers: John Marshall, Buck Owens, Christian Russell, Retro Jerry, Neg Saul, Hermsky, Gary Heather, Pints and Amiga, Jost80, The Slow Norris, Wide World of Retro, Jigglebox, Frodo NL, Mitsuyama, Uber Scuba Diver, Blue Train, Great Algae, Eeyore 4077, Beeplo, Rule of Thirds, Macintosh Librarian, Zuper Dan, Still Adolescing, and Wing Chun Wolf. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to Amigos on Twitch.
Thank you very much.
Now, Aaron, it seems like forever ago, the last Patreon song we had, it was a very, very obscure. This was not a Patreon band song. This was me just going to town in the sort of signature style, is what I believe people call it.
Is that what they call it?
That's what they call it.
I believe it's called "Stepped in a Bear Trap." That's what I would call it.
We only had one correct response, only one, and it was Figgy. Figgy CTZ guessed correctly. This is the name of the song was "Traitor." And it's off of the pretty obscure 1973 Beach Boys album, Holland. So I don't think that anybody, most people stopped listening to the Beach Boys at some point during the mid to late 60s. But did they stop making albums? Heck no. They made about 30 more. So anyway, congratulations to Figgy. Thank you for being
Figgy.
Thank you for being a hardcore Beach Boys fan, as am I. However, the Patreon band is back, Aaron, and we've got something special for you. A New Year's treat from the Patreon band. Let's hear it.
Beatles at Dawn, and Kolbjorn Barman.
That was gold. Solid gold.
Another hit from the Patreon band. So if you know that song, send me an email at john@amigospodcast.com, and I will read all of the correct responses on next week's show.
I've learned about this Patreon song. As long as you're not involved in the singing, it can be outstanding.
I was barely involved in that one. I didn't play any guitars.
You had the floating trombone solo. That was pretty good.
It's true. All right, Aaron. Let's see. Coming up next, we have some favorite moments of 2020. So we had part of the form for the voting. We asked people to write about their favorite moments. So Patreon band was one.
Oh yeah,
the one time the internet didn't crap out during the stream. Yeah. That's always one of my favorite moments. Of course, with the whole Kevin Toms incident, as was recently shown here on the video. The expansion of the Amigos Retro Gaming Network to include Sprite Castle and Pixel Guide In.
Yeah.
Absolutely one of the highlights of the year.
I never thought I'd get to work with those guys. It was awesome.
Every moment in the Discord. The Amigos community is awesome and has helped to make it this year easier. 100%.
I agree with that.
Last night, as Eep was at work and I was celebrating New Year's Eve by myself, I wasn't by myself because I was with the crew in the Discord.
Yeah.
More Patreon band. People like the Patreon band. When Aaron has called out Boat on his hardware flim-flamming at various points during the year. I'm sure there's been a little bit of that. Boat wearing the I Adore My C64 shirt that I bought. I've still got that shirt. I will wear it again. The Amigo Aaron Patreon song, a highlight of the year. The Atari versus Amiga show on ARG Presents. That's surely the most popular episode of ARG Presents of all time.
Brent made me this to commemorate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the plaque they give you when you get 100,000 YouTube subscribers.
That's right. That was a lot of fun too. I learned a lot too.
Sacktown, one of the best moments.
That was not a highlight. We're never going back to that con. That's for sure.
Everything except for me and let's see. Aside from Ravi and Boat not dying from COVID, all of it. So yes, I am glad to not have died, and I'm also glad Ravi survived.
Good job, Ravi.
The Cabal cartoon character banter, which we went through. When Aaron was telling Boat about his time as a professional go-kart racer.
Oh yeah.
The Amiga Ireland drunk chat. Yeah. Yes, that's always good times. The return of R. Sinclair. Boat's strange rant about potato skins.
Yeah.
I don't call that strange.
That was strange.
And finally, discovering the community and joining up on Patreon.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for all of those favorite moments. And in that same vein, Aaron, because we didn't have a game to review this week, I invited our Discord community to share just a New Year's message to everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and read through those. Matthew Perron, he writes, I'd like to wish every Amiga and Amigo a great and healthy year 2021. Let it be a whole lot better than 2020. It shouldn't be too hard.
Thank you.
The slow Norris writes, 2020 sucked for me only because of my heart attack, Eddie Van Halen, and Neil Peart.
Those are all good reasons, legitimate reasons.
Yeah. All the other stuff is just stupid human tricks. And 2021 will be full of stupid human tricks too. Don't let it bring you down. Instead, ignore humans and have a happy new year. Keep your drives clicking. Waiting on the mothership, the slow Norris.
Hell yeah. Well said, Slow.
Lord Soup says, well, here's to a new year. I hope you have fun and make awesome acquisitions.
Oh, I think Boat will be into. Hey, maybe we'll both get something cool this year.
Yeah. Barkbit writes, wishing you all a happy, healthy new year. The Amigos community has been one of the few beacons in an otherwise quite dark year. Keep spreading the light, people. Cheers.
Thank you.
Zorglub writes, Happy New Year to you all. This was my first year in the crowd as a Patreon, and for some reason, I feel I learned to know you guys just a bit. Nice to meet you all. Looking forward to meet you all even more. Please be careful and stay safe wherever you are. Jason Warnes writes, as we turn the page on this dumpster fire of a year, here's wishing 2021 bring us a modicum of health, wealth, and happiness.
Yeah.
May our community continue to thrive and build upon its great fellowship. All the best, my friends. Boat Fest.
Boat Fest. No.
Jigglebox writes, Dear Amigos, lockdown has had a few ups alongside the many downs. One of the main ups is the community I found here and a newfound interest in retro gaming. My system of choice remains my Spectrum Next, renewing my acquaintance with old games being a great pastime. Alongside that, I find the banter and fun here and on Twitch great, and perhaps I'll meet some of you all for real at some point. Happy New Year to all, or as they say in Welsh, well,
we can't go back there.
Oh, he puts a pronunciation guide.
Oh, he knows your pronunciation.
It's really pronounced.
You're killing me.
Lobsterminator writes, Happy New Year to all amigos. This has been a trying year for everyone, and hopefully it will remain a unique year in our memories as the world slowly returns to some semblance of normalcy. The Amigos Network got some great new additions this year, and the Discord community has helped me keep my spirits up. Thanks to everyone involved, and best wishes for 2021. The Dunk writes, Happy New Year to the best bunch of online peeps I've ever been a part of. Polite, fun, and full of info. Keep it up throughout 2021.
We're full of something.
Paul, a.k.a. Hermsky, writes, Happy New Year to the Amigos and its community. A difficult year for us all, but this community has helped to keep spirits high for so many. Let's have a drink, and here's to a good, healthy, and much better 2021.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone. Knight and Staff writes,
Oh, not this guy.
2020 was our survival horror level. Let's hope for a nice casual rhythm or cooking sim for 2021. You folks are awesome.
He wrote that?
He wrote that.
The Brent wrote that?
The Brent wrote that.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Insincere.
Chris Foltz writes, wishing all the amigos and everyone in the community a happy new year. It's been a roller coaster 2020 for so many of us, but we all had each other's backs through the tough times, the fun times, and the crazy times. It was great meeting a bunch of you in Ireland, and I know we will meet again soon. Stay positive, folks, as better days are on the way.
Yeah.
L. Curtis Boyle writes, have you tried the new EOU 6 beta? I'm just kidding. He did not write that. He said, Happy New Year to all the Amigos extended family. Benny Cake writes, wishing the Amigos, the ARG network, and this Discord community have a very happy new year. Your podcasts have brightened up my week in a dark year. May 2021 be filled with all the things you wanted to do this year but couldn't. Gary Heather writes, Happy New Year to everyone in the community. I hope 2021 is kinder to everyone after being a trial in so many ways, due in no small part to the coronavirus. Hey, we couldn't even have a retrovirus, could we? Batman writes, Happy New Year.
I'm Batman.
To all the very lovely people in the wonderful Amigos community.
Thank you, Batman.
All right. Thank you guys so much for all those New Year wishes. We really appreciate, the Discord community is so amazing. So amazing. So, let's see. Next week, Aaron, we're gonna resume our regularly scheduled programming with Knights of the Sky. This was an AGSC selection by the boss man, Paul Harrington himself.
I've actually played this one, so beauty.
Yeah, should be a good time.
Yeah.
And we want to thank all of the people here in the chat that are live with us. We do record Amigos every Friday around 5 o'clock Eastern time. You're welcome to join us. We'd love it if you would.
Yeah, man.
We have quite a few folks in the chat. We've got, first we want to thank our amazing mods, our mod team, Duncan Styles and Pixels of Dawn Gaming. Again, big ups to Duncan for putting together those best of Amigos moments. Those were
Yes.
gold.
Thank you, Dunk.
And thanks to everybody that suggested them. In the chat, I want to say a shout out to Tinmark, Amiga Cami, Amiga Gamer 1200, Awkward Aardvark is here, Ball 857, Barkbit, Bike Me, Brock 101, Chip Chip Crunch Chip Chip, Dag 2099, Delamort 78, Dios MTG, Droop Dog, Edvin Helland, Electrical Longboard, Extra More, Figgy 78, Frodo NL, Gary Heather, Jigglebox, Girly, Great Owl G, Hermsky, I Am Paul H, Ice Wizards, Jabasoft, Jiffy Onyx, John Marshall 3, Casserin, Laserdisc, L. Curtis B, Leif Kelland, sorry, I will endeavor in 2021 to say your name correctly.
Listen, your Welch is horrible. I don't know what you're doing with Leif.
Luke DK, Macintosh Librarian. Maybe I Look Out of His Window, Mitsuyama, Nagram, Nelson Doc, Oram, Olaf Hope, Paul Kitching, Picard 2010, Pi Gravity, R-Typer, Real Refy, Retro Fox, Ricky DeRocha, Rob
Gravity,
O'Hara, Sawyer Lead, Sinlao, The Slow Norris, Treyguard 82, VNK, Vector Prunk, Vigoro Pros, Wide World of Retro, and Z9K9.
Man, never has such a conglomerate of talent been put together in one chat room. All of our favorites plus some new friends. Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up.
Absolutely. And let's see. Edvin says, anyone on for a Discord video chat after the show? So if you're on the Discord team, feel free to jump on there. Let's see. We got what else? Oh, and we're gonna close the chat this evening. We're gonna close the show with the final best of video of 2020. This was the unforgettable night when Aaron performed live at the Coal Miners Lounge in Culloden, West Virginia.
I opened for the Midgets boat.
A song near and dear to all of our hearts. We're going to close the show out with this song. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you. Have a wonderful 2021. We'll see you next week. Until then, adios.
Heavy Systems Inc. Bundy Frag Lord. Mark by Land. Olive Hope. Hermski. Jonas Simulant. Ethan Little. Alan Breeder. Dave Velociraptor. Cowboy Boy Bird. Lane Denson, Luke Hudson, John Cook, on the bass, Roshi, Frodo, Singer, Fake Mage, Jurgen, Mr. Cola, Daniel Williams, Bernard Lucas, Jerry Dennington, Zolglove, Connor Kid, Reflection, Simon Latch, Captain Crispy, Kilobytes and Caffeine, Gary Heller, Free Lunch, Kate Fox, Dave Pickford, Cameron Armstrong, Andy Jones, Lobsterminator, 10-minute Amiga Retrocast, Bernard Quinn, RMC, Timmy Drew, Simon Rose, Joseph Harrison, Kyle, Ether O'Hara, Matthew Larimore, Andy Craig, Chanzo, Buckbit, Roland Buck, Andrew Monks, Joe the Zombie Leaf Care. Chicote, Levelon, John Marshall, Matthew Perrone, Ricky DeRocha, Creepy Dead Boy, Biggie CTZ, Slow Norris, Stephen Sagard Mortensen, Evan Helen, Lindo 75, Christopher Hassel, Robbie Abbott, Christopher Fold, oh yeah, Dreamcatcher, Lauren Giroux, Graham W. Vipke, Alan Braddersby, Bro Brian's Vintage and Retro. Gary Huck, C. Brian Jones, Paul Harrington, and Duncan Styles. Kate from the Crib, Josh Nan, Andrew Battersby. Oh, Jonas Rulo, THT, Eric Nelscomb, Tim Comrie, Homestead, Daniel Bingston, Brutal Barracuda, Darren Coles, Jason Warren, Pixels of Dawn, and Colbjorn Bombin. Oh, thank you, my friends. The Patreon list, it's hard to sing to.
Thank you very much, everybody.